Good morning. We are going to talk about sociology, and the first topic is the inequality.
Inequality. What is? Inequality is the facility people must access to a better lifestyle. There is inequality between men and women, also in social groups. Inequality increases because some groups have more influence about the legislative process. People who have more influence on the legislative process have a higher probability to have a better lifestyle than people who don't.
Who are affected? The inequality affects all people. Women and girls are poorer than people. Communities work harder than anyone, and they live in the misery every day, and they can have basic rights and good salaries. Some countries are less educated than others. Some and don't have healthy service, and they are less privileged than other countries. Affectations. Poverty is much bigger than other affectations, with malnutrition and hungry, and have consequences in personal and social ambitions. The first is the social inequality, is when a person don't have the same treatment for his social and economical situations, religion, culture, and sexual orientation. The next is the economical inequality, is when some group of people are richer than other communities, and these poor communities don't have access to a good service. The next is the educational inequality. In example, is the immigrants don't have access to education, and don't have education, and the 45% of 400 of people don't have education in age of 50 and 17 years old. The last is the gender inequality, is when someone can have access to the same opportunities for his gender.
The next is history and struggle. Inequality begins with industrialization when some people begin to get more money than others. Also, some countries are richer than others. For example, there are four countries that have 19% of global wealth. These four countries are the USA, Europe, Japan, and Australia.
A proposal is we can invest in tax justice and domestic recurses, and defend taxes politics for for who live in the poor.
The solutions are comply with our commitments and obligations human rights agreed in international treaties and conventions. Allow progressive policies aimed at accelerating income growing among in the poorest 40% of people. And the last one is provide a universal social protection service that provides basic income security and covers essential services.
The next topic is changing climate, changing minds, and we choose fast fashion.
What is? Fast fashion say we must buy more clothes and that way we're going to use less clothes. There are so many businesses that use fast fashion. The principal characteristic is using the latest clothing tendencies and it has a less prices. Every time fast fashion begins to be faster than before and the environment is the principal affected. Reasons or causes. Eh, they create new clothes for people who buy something new at the shortest time possible. Fast fashion can interpret faster trends and likes than the consumers. With cheap prices, the production and distribution produce a feeling of scarcity in the consumers. And the last one is they create new clothes every 2 weeks.
Labor exploitation. Fast fashion is the new slavery. The people who work is poor and vulnerable, and for this reason is the modern slavery, and they work in a dangerous and environmental and exploitations, and have child abuse, lost freedom, and forced labor. The consequences is the materials, the waste is burned, and the materials production is nylon, polyester, and spandex, and are petroleum derivatives. In addition, they are not reusable and have a lot of years of decompose. The 60% of clothes waste ends up in the water or incinerate and impacts the atmosphere, earth, and water. The collection closed in the past was 2 4 years, and now are 24 for year. The next topic of the country environmental is the illegal mining.
What is? Illegal minery is the illicit exploration and exploitation without a current mining license. Also, is an economic activity that consists in illegal minery, extraction without a social control, and environmental from part of the state. The principal organization to promote illegal minery evade laws.
Who are the illegal minings? Uh, the in Cauca, illegal minings went to other departments for search gold and minerals and have exploitation contracts with the communities and for the gold and are about 20 or 30 millions of Colombian pesos. Illegal groups like such as XFAR, Clan del Golfo, LN, create new miners, new infrastructure, and use the poor communities for these illegal activities. The the last is the corruption. The government give license for illegal mining, and the corruption and the abandonment in these communities. Environmental impacts is the use of the mercury, destroy the rivers and deforestation, remove the soils and make landslide, impact the forests, paramounts, and tributaries, and the animals is in danger of extinction.
The next is solutions. First one is the government can help the communities. The second is search new ways for works. And the last one is help the miner become to legal mining.
The last topic is unexpected discovery, and we are gonna talking about list of programming language.
A language programming, it's a language who say the computer and also to develop software programs and applications to be executed by computers.
We have types. We have types of language. The first is the assembly language. They can communicate with computers and humans, and can read and comprise for humans, and they are short and intuitive. The next is the medium level language. They can make more hard tasks than under level program language. and they can search and organize and some programs language are C and C++. And the last is the high language level. They are adapted for humans. They are easy to learn. The computer can understand the language. They adapt through translates and compilers, and they are the better program language. The list of better programming language. The first place we have JavaScript. Is the most powerful and flexible than other language. It was created 25 years old ago in the wars of roses by Netscape company. It's oriented to objects, prototypes, and multi-paradigms, and is supported for a big community, and is is much used for a web programming than others. All the pages are created for JavaScript, and it use frameworks like React for Facebook, Angular of Google, and they have access now, more access now. The next is Python, created for Guido van Rossum in the 19th decade, and is multi-paradigm and multi-purpose. And its popularity grows up at 30% in 2021. The next is Java. Uh, in the history is the more distributed than other language. Is oriented to objects and can write and operate in a lot of machines and work like in companies like Adobe Mason or Flickr use Java.
The next is C. It's a major level language and the most used. It's a very interactive language and easy to understand once you learn to use it. And it's used for software development and creation of applications. And the last one is C++. It's a variant of language C with a higher level develop. It's better designed to the creation of application with a higher level degree of complexity. And it's a language very used for designing graphics.
And finish the topics. Goodbye.
Goodbye.